Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, an arrest in the shocking massacre of 9 U.S. citizens in Mexico. But still, many questions remain, including was the family targeted? Or was it a case of mistaken identity? We'll have the latest.
Today we're coming together for veterans in our community. It's time to kick off the all-media, all-day Honored Flight Fundraiser. And Tabitha Mills is live with some of our local heroes to tell us what this trip means to them. Today is Wednesday, November 6th, 2019.
Great to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. It's the one day of the year we all come together across the county to raise money, and they have a big trip planned next April that we need the community's help to make happen.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in just a bit, but first, a look at your forecast on this Wednesday. Another warm day across the county.
Yeah, it was, especially yesterday when we hit 81 degrees, so still keeping it warm around the area and above where we should be this time of year, which is 70 degrees, and today is going to be about the same. 51 degrees out there currently, no winds to talk about. And as we take a look at the day here, lower 50s to start, 75 at noon, and by 3 o'clock, a light northwest wind and 80 degrees. Into the mountains, Tehachapi, you're currently at 36. You have a light wind out of the east-southeast at 5. And as we take a look at the winds, there are no winds around the mountain community, so that's always nice to see. We're going to start out in the 30s and then lower 70s this afternoon. By 3 o'clock, look for a northwest wind right around 9. We'll talk more weather in a bit, but first, let's get a check of the morning commute. We'll send that over to Alex.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. And taking you outside for the first time this morning to the 99 at Airport Drive, and it's looking pretty clear on that side of town. The only thing that you should note is that a lot of construction projects are wrapping up at 5 a.m., so keep that in mind if you're headed out the door within the next few minutes, especially if you're headed downtown. There's a lot of closures and detours in place right now because of the construction, but things should be wrapping up here momentarily. Other than that, it's all looking great across the county. We'll have another check coming up in about 15 minutes.
It was a close call for a driver in Shafter. The man was headed down the road when his van got stuck on the train tracks last night. It was at the intersection of South Beach Avenue and Santa Fe Way. The driver noticed a train coming and his van just wouldn't budge, so he jumped out of the vehicle before the train slammed into it. The driver says he was unfamiliar with the area.
Yes, the unfamiliar driver, obviously, you want to make sure that we use caution when driving in unsafe areas where you're unfamiliar with the roadway. Make sure that you obey all the traffic signs and signals and the crossing bucks and the red lights and the horns that you hear that are already sounding. Pay attention to those before you enter the intersection.
The driver of the van was the only person involved in the accident, and he was not hurt.
2 correctional officers at Tehachapi State Prison were attacked by inmates. Now that attack is being investigated as an attempted homicide. The Department of Corrections says 2 inmates attacked the officers in a housing unit around 6:45 on Monday night. The officers used force and pepper spray to stop the attack. The officers were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Investigators say they found a weapon that was made by an inmate. The inmates are 26-year-old Alfonso Verduzco and 24-year-old Christian Rodriguez, who were transported to another facility. Rodriguez is serving a life sentence for a murder out of Ventura County. Verduzco is also serving a life sentence for attempted murder out of Riverside County.
Well, the future of vaping products in Kern County is still uncertain as supervisors discuss a potential ban. Yesterday, however, the board seemed to move away from a potential ban, instead focusing on reinforcing its existing ordinances. According to Public Health, vaping is the most common use of tobacco in California. Local health officials say nearly 1,500 hospitalizations and 33 deaths have been linked to vaping nationwide. 3 people died in our state, and in Kern County, 3 people have been hospitalized. Meantime, the state has issued an advisory to stop vaping.
The city of Bakersfield continues its efforts to purchase property for future low-barrier homeless shelters. A purchase or lease contract is expected to be prepared for its meeting tonight. This new project is part of the city's efforts to continue implementing its 3-point approach to addressing homelessness concerns. The first is to acknowledge the crisis. Next, to support, strengthen, and for existing providers, and finally, implement, measure, and funds for new programs. Part of the funding for this new project and any purchases or lease agreements that will come from Measure In funds.
The Department of Motor Vehicles has announced an accidental data breach that disclosed Social Security number information. The state's DMV said federal agencies accidentally were given access to Social Security information for about 3,200 people. The department said in a statement it discovered the data breach back in August and that for at least the past 4 years, information was accidentally accessible to 7 government entities, including the Social Security Administration Office of the Inspector General. The department also said the sharing of information was not due to hacking or the result of private sharing and that no additional information was disclosed. DMV has already started correcting the access error and have implemented new rules for anyone seeking access to Social Security information. Additionally, the department states that protection of personal information is important to the DMV, and we've taken additional steps to correct the error, protect this information, and reaffirm our serious commitment to protect the privacy rights of all license holders, according to the department.
And today is your chance to help local veterans take a trip to our nation's capital.
Honor Flight Kern County and KGET invite you to be part of the all-day, all-media fundraiser. Tabitha Mills is joining us live along Rosedale Highway near Chewy's over there with more information on how you can help in this day-long fundraiser. Good morning, Tab.
Good morning, Maddie and Alex. Yes, all day long, there will be several sites along or across Kern County where people can donate to Honor Flight Kern County. And the goal of that is to send 100 veterans back to Washington, D.C. to see the memorials in their honor, a trip that they deserve. And so if you can today, please consider opening your wallets and your hearts to help Honor Flight Kern County. Joining us this morning are a few volunteers from Honor Flight Kern County. We're going to start with Sharon Dickey right here. Sharon, let's just talk about this event and why this is so important for our veterans.
Every event is important to our veterans. We just returned over 100 veterans to Washington to see their memorial. We now want to do another 100 because it was a great success, and we can't do this without the support and the love of our community. And Kern County is a giving, loving community. Taking Vietnam vets, I think, is extra spectacular because they touch that wall and they have some healing. They let a lot of their anger and embarrassment, they let it go. And when they come home, they truly are different people. I just had one vet, his wife told me, he came home and he was a kinder person, and he never talked about Vietnam until he came back from Honor Flight. So I think that's our purpose, is healing, honor, and respect for our veterans. And without Kern County and our donations, we couldn't make this happen.
We couldn't, and that's something that hopefully we can help make happen. Again, we want 100 veterans from our fundraising efforts today to go to Washington, D.C., Maddie and Alex. And as you heard Sharon say, it's a long overdue thank you, a long overdue healing process for some of our veterans. So if you're driving by Rosedale or down Rosedale, along Rosedale next to Chewy's, please stop by. It doesn't take much. If everybody, that's what I challenge everyone this morning, if we had, 100 people give $5, think about how quickly that adds up. You don't have to give a lot, but if you can give something, we'd greatly appreciate it. There are other locations as well across Kern County where you can donate, maybe on your way to work or your way to school or wherever your morning commute takes you. For more information, you can go to kget.com. But for right now, Maddie and Alex, we're going to send it back to you, and we'll see you back here in just a little bit to talk more about this great fundraiser today.
All right. Thanks so much, Tab.
Packing up and moving out.
A new study shows tens of thousands of people are leaving California for other states. Why people are making that move, coming up in 9 minutes.
And on the weather front, another beautiful day. Temperatures near 80. We'll talk more about it coming up next. Stay with us.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News with Maddie Jansen, Alex Fisher, and Kevin Charette with your Pinpoint Doppler forecast. This is 17 News at Sunrise.
A lot of us can agree, from coast to the valley, we love California. But a new poll shows it may not be the case for every California resident.
Yeah, for the 7th year in a row, more than 100,000 people said goodbye to the Golden State, moving to places like Texas and Arizona. And 17's Vanessa Dillon joins us with more on on this and to kind of break down these numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. And you know what? The University of California, Berkeley conducted a poll of 52% of registered voters. Of those who participated, 71% said they would consider moving because of California's cost of living. Now, the big question is, where do residents in Kern County stand?
It's called the Golden State for a reason. Sunny skies, warm temperatures, and short trips to the beach or mountains. You decide. Who wouldn't want to call California home? Well, the truth is, thousands of people don't, even some in Kern County.
So many things about this state that have declined, and it's not the state that I lived in 15, 20 years ago.
According to a recent poll conducted by the University of California, Berkeley, over 70% of Californians would consider leaving the state because of the high cost of living. And that goes for Kern County, too.
I would consider moving out of California, but I've had family here, and that's basically the only thing that's keeping me here.
But according to Bakersfield realtor Jeannie Ratzick, Kern County is one of the most affordable places to live in California.
53% of our population are homeowners. In the rest of the state, that's sad to say, but it's way different in some of the other metropolitan areas, where the median sales price is over $1 million in the North Bay area, $800,000 in the Orange County area. If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, you're looking at probably just under $1 million as a median sales price.
But others have a message for those hoping to move.
They'll come back.
A Kern County resident for 30 years, David Kelly says, what's not to love about the Golden State?
California it just has a desert, the mountains, the beaches. You just can't get that anywhere.
Well, some are willing to pay the price of California dreaming. Others say enough is enough.
And another side note, 46% of Californians have also considered leaving because of the political culture, and 58% might consider saying goodbye because of high taxes here in California.
I have a lot of family members who've actually moved, some of them to Texas, and the houses that they were able to buy there, you know, it is kind of surprising compared to here.
And we asked our viewers on Facebook, and I was shocked to see how many people also felt like they would totally just pick up in a heartbeat just because of the high cost of living.
I think, though, you know, it's so funny, though, because then it's like everything looks better on the other side, right? You leave California, though, and you miss out on so much. Like, we have the beach. We've got so much here that if you leave, I mean, yeah, it is expensive.
State.
It is a beautiful state with so much to offer. So
some of the areas, I mean, we can afford to live here in Kern County. You know, our cost of living is very different from the rest of the state, though. So other parts of the state, you're talking about, like, literally cannot afford to live.
I mean, a one-bedroom apartment in downtown LA is going to be much more than most people's mortgages here. So it's just
there's
it's
pros
crazy.
and cons, like
for
you
sure,
said.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Vanessa.
All right, well, with holiday shopping season, inevitably comes the holiday returns.
And coming up, consumer reporter Stacey Johnson tells us what stores have the best return policies.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
AT&T settles over claims it misled consumers. The wireless carrier will have to pay out $60 million after the Federal Trade Commission alleged AT&T misled millions of customers by charging them for so-called unlimited data plans while reducing data speeds. The money will provide refunds to current and former AT&T customers who had originally signed up for unlimited plans prior to 2011 but were throttled by AT&T. Affected consumers will not be required to submit a claim for the refunds. Current AT&T customers will automatically receive a credit on their bills. Former customers will receive checks for the refund amount that they're owed. Well, starting tomorrow, holiday cups are making a comeback at Starbucks. This year, there are 4 new cups. Starbucks says the new cups are meant to spark many moments of joy this holiday season. And with the cups come the holiday drinks, returning tomorrow, the beloved peppermint mocha, the chestnut praline latte, and the eggnog latte. I do love some eggnog. Well, as holiday shopping season heats up, so will return season. So who has the best retail return policy? Money expert Stacey Johnson has a list.
Good, how are you? Do you want to try on one of the bracelets? Yeah. I really think sometimes people choose to shop with us because they know if they're unhappy with a purchase they've made, that will fix the problem.
Buy anything from Nordstrom, and if you're not happy, you can return it. Now, you might think people would take advantage of a liberal policy like that, but 11-year Nordstrom veteran Jennifer Drake says no.
We don't think people abuse it. We deal fairly with our customers, and we think our customers are fair with us.
Whether it's something for you or maybe a holiday gift, there's nothing worse than finding out you bought something that can't be returned. So who does have the best return policy in retail? When it comes to bricks and mortar, it's hard to beat Nordstrom. They accept returns or exchanges anytime. Macy's is another department store that places few limits on returns and exchanges. Target prints a 90-day deadline on its receipts, but electronics usually have to be returned within 30 days. Costco will take most things back for a full refund, even shipping and handling, but electronics have to be returned within 90 days. What's important is that before you purchase something, you need to find out what that return policy is and take special note of exceptions, like maybe electronics, because unfortunately, very few stores are like Nordstrom and have a policy of no policy. Like shoes? Zappos gives you a year to return items and even offers free return shipping and pre-printed labels. Bottom line, liberal return policies are a part of a good shopping experience. And now what you need is a more complete list of the return policies of lots of stores. And we got it waiting for you right here at MoneyTalksNews.com. Just do a search for return policies. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacey Johnson. Money Talks is brought to you by your local consumer credit counseling service. If you've got debt problems or just want some free budget counseling, call today.